Every day, I see men who unknowingly feed their own prostate problems through one simple modern habit: sitting too much. Hours in a chair at the table behind the wheel or in front of the TV may feel harmless, even restful. But inside your body, something very different is happening. When you sit for long stretches, you compress the pelvic area, the very region where your prostate sits. This constant pressure reduces blood flow and oxygen delivery to the gland, slowly creating an environment of inflammation and stagnation. Over time, that lack of circulation makes the tissue swell, hormones shift, and the prostate begins to grow. Your body is designed for movement. It relies on gentle motion to pump blood and drain fluid from the lower organs. But when movement stops, buildup begins. That's why even a perfectly healthy prostate can start to enlarge in men who spend too much time sitting. It's not your age, it's this routine mistake. Every day, I meet men who walk into my office carrying the same quiet frustration. They tell me about the long nights spent waking up again and again, the constant urge to urinate, or the growing pressure that never quite goes away. They assume it's just part of getting older, something every man over 60 has to accept. But that's not the full truth, because when I look deeper into their lifestyle, there's one silent habit that almost always shows up, and it's something most of us never think twice about: sitting. Yes, something as ordinary as sitting for long periods of time can slowly, quietly enlarge your prostate. You might think, how could that possibly matter? But inside your body, every minute spent in that chair is doing more than you realize. The prostate is a small gland tucked just below the bladder, wrapped around the urethra, the narrow tube that carries urine out of your body. When you sit for hours, the weight of your upper body presses down on your pelvic floor, and that pressure extends directly to the prostate. It's like placing a heavy book on a soft sponge. Over time, it compresses, swells, and loses its shape. This constant compression doesn't just cause discomfort, it restricts blood flow, which is the prostate's main source of oxygen and nutrients. Without good circulation, waste products start to build up. Inflammation creeps in, the tissues stiffen, and the cells inside the gland become irritated. That irritation can lead to swelling, and swelling means your prostate begins to enlarge, not because of age, but because it's being suffocated by a lack of movement. The less blood flow the area gets, the more damage accumulates silently. But that's not all. Long hours of sitting also affect your hormone balance. You see, movement isn't just about muscles. It's a key regulator of your body's chemistry. When you stay still for too long, testosterone levels drop while stress hormones like cortisol rise. That hormonal shift is one of the hidden drivers of prostate growth. High cortisol increases inflammation, and lower testosterone disrupts how your prostate cells renew themselves. It's a dangerous combination that feeds into the very cycle men are trying to escape. Now, imagine adding modern habits to that mix. Hours behind the wheel, afternoons on the couch, evenings scrolling on your phone or watching TV. Each of these moments might seem small, but together they add up to days, months, even years of constant pelvic pressure. The human body was never designed to be still this long. Evolution built us to move, stretch, and walk. That gentle motion keeps blood circulating and flushes toxins from our organs, including the prostate. The moment we stop moving, that cleansing system slows down. Over time, this habit begins to show itself in small ways. You start feeling like your bladder never fully empties. You notice weaker flow or discomfort when sitting too long. Nights become restless because of multiple bathroom trips. And yet most men ignore these signals, telling themselves, I'm just getting older. The truth is, your prostate is trying to tell you something. It's begging for better circulation, for a break from the pressure, for movement. I'm not saying you need to become an athlete. You don't need a gym membership or a marathon schedule. What your prostate needs is simple: consistency. Standing up every 30 minutes, taking short walks, doing light stretches, even gentle pelvic floor exercises. All of these actions release that built-up pressure and restore oxygen to the area. When blood flow improves, inflammation cools down, hormones stabilize, and your prostate finally gets the chance to heal. Think about it. How many hours did you spend sitting today? During breakfast, the drive to work, lunch, TV time in the evening. For most men over 60, it easily adds up to 10 or more hours a day. And that's without realizing that every one of those hours is contributing to stagnation in the lower body. If you've been dealing with frequent urination, discomfort, or interrupted sleep, sitting could be a major part of the reason. So before you blame age, before you assume it's just inevitable, take a moment to reconsider the way you move through your day. Because the difference between a calm, healthy prostate and an enlarged one often comes down to a single, overlooked habit. It's not your age, it's this routine mistake. When you sit for long stretches every day, what's really happening inside your body is far more complex than most people realize. The pressure on your pelvic region doesn't just cause discomfort. It starts a slow, silent chain reaction that reaches deep into your cells and hormones. Imagine your prostate as a small, flexible sponge tucked gently beneath your bladder. When blood flows freely, it stays soft, nourished, and balanced. But when you sit too long, that constant weight presses down like a hand squeezing a garden hose. The flow of blood and oxygen slows to a trickle, and the tissue inside begins to react. Without steady circulation, the body starts to sense something is wrong. Inflammation sets in, your immune system's way of trying to repair the compressed area. But in this case, that repair process never fully stops. The cells stay irritated, the area swells, and inflammation becomes chronic. This is where the real trouble begins. The swollen prostate begins pressing against the urethra, the small tube that carries urine out of your body. That's why you might notice it's harder to start your stream, or that you never quite feel like you've emptied your bladder completely. At night, when your body relaxes, that pressure can worsen. The bladder sends signals more frequently, and you find yourself waking up again and again to urinate. You may think it's normal aging, but it's actually a symptom of an inflamed gland crying for relief. Your prostate is being squeezed, suffocated by poor circulation and constant inflammation, and your body is doing its best to compensate by working overtime. But there's another layer to this story, one that most men overlook: hormones. Sitting for long periods doesn't just affect your muscles, it changes the way your body manages testosterone and estrogen. When you stay inactive, your testosterone levels start to dip. Meanwhile, your body begins to convert more of that testosterone into estrogen, a hormone that, in excess, can encourage prostate growth. The result is a hormonal imbalance that fuels the very inflammation you're trying to escape. This combination, low testosterone, high estrogen, and chronic inflammation, is what silently enlarges the prostate over time. It's a biological storm brewing in slow motion. The body becomes stuck in a loop. Less movement leads to less blood flow leads to more swelling, and swelling leads to more hormonal disruption. By the time most men feel the symptoms, this cycle has been building for years. You might notice other changes too. Energy starts to fade. Sleep feels lighter and less restorative. Even your mood can shift because hormonal imbalance doesn't stay confined to the prostate. It affects your whole system. The inflammation can spread, straining your kidneys, bladder, and even cardiovascular health. Everything is connected, and when one small area is constantly under pressure, the entire network suffers. Still, most men don't notice until daily life becomes uncomfortable. They find themselves avoiding long car rides, mapping out restroom stops, or cutting back on evening drinks just to get a few hours of uninterrupted sleep. These aren't random annoyances. They're the body's way of warning you that the balance has been broken, that what once felt like a harmless habit is slowly reshaping your health from the inside out. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to make you aware, because the good news is that your body is incredibly resilient. The same systems that cause inflammation can also reverse it when given the right conditions: movement, hydration, and rest. But until you break the cycle of compression and stagnation, the inflammation will continue to feed itself. Every extra hour spent sitting gives it one more opportunity to grow stronger. So, the next time you find yourself planted in a chair for hours on end, remember what's happening beneath the surface. Like that garden hose being squeezed, your prostate is under constant strain, struggling for circulation and relief. Each small decision to stand, to stretch, to walk is a chance to release that pressure and restore balance. This is how small habits create big health problems, but it's also how small changes can create powerful healing. Once this habit takes hold, it rarely travels alone. Sitting for hours isn't just one problem. It becomes the spark that ignites a series of others, each feeding into the same cycle of damage. When your body spends most of the day still, it naturally slows down everything else: your metabolism, your circulation, and even your instincts to care for yourself. You move less, so you drink less water. You feel tired, so you reach for more caffeine. You crave convenience, so processed foods slip into your routine. And before long, your prostate isn't the only thing struggling. Your whole system is quietly sliding out of balance. You didn't know this was happening. Most men don't. It's not about willpower or bad choices. It's about habits that creep in unnoticed. When movement decreases, thirst signals weaken. You go hours without drinking enough water because you're not sweating, not breathing deeply, not reminding your body that it needs hydration. Over time, that mild dehydration makes your urine more concentrated, irritating both your bladder and your prostate. The same pressure that sitting creates now meets the burn of inflammation from inside. It's a slow, relentless combination that keeps your urinary system under constant stress. Then there's caffeine, the quick fix so many depend on. Coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon, maybe a soda or energy drink to push through the day. Caffeine feels harmless, but it works against the very balance your prostate needs. It's a diuretic, forcing your body to flush out water faster than it can replace it. That constant urge to urinate might feel like it's cleansing you, but in reality, it's drying you out and straining your bladder. Each trip to the bathroom leaves your prostate more irritated, more inflamed, and more swollen. Add processed foods to that equation, and the inflammation multiplies. Packaged meals, salty snacks, fried or sugary foods, they all increase sodium and unhealthy fats, which cause fluid retention and raise internal pressure. Even the preservatives used to keep them shelf-stable can disrupt hormone balance, tipping the scales of testosterone and estrogen further out of sync. Day after day, these choices don't just affect your waistline, they amplify the inflammation sitting has already started. And then comes the hidden accelerator, stress. It's easy to underestimate its role, but chronic stress is the invisible thread that ties everything together. When you're tense or anxious, your body releases cortisol, a hormone that promotes inflammation and suppresses circulation. Stress tightens muscles in the pelvic region, the same area already under pressure from sitting. This makes blood flow even harder, compressing the prostate further. You can almost feel the cycle tightening. Less movement, more tension, more inflammation. It's no wonder so many men find themselves trapped in this loop, unsure where to begin breaking free. Every habit fuels the next. You sit too long, you move less, you drink less water, your body craves caffeine, you eat quick meals, you feel more tired, you sit again. It's a quiet pattern that builds year after year until the symptoms become too loud to ignore. The weak flow, the sleepless nights, the growing discomfort. But I want you to hear this clearly. This cycle doesn't make you weak, lazy, or careless. It makes you human. You adapted to a lifestyle that's modern but unnatural, one that asks your body to stay still when it was designed to move. And yet, the solution is far simpler than most believe, because the same small habits that created this damage can also undo it. Hydration, mindful movement, a little less caffeine, a little more calm. These are the beginnings of repair. Your body is waiting for you to give it a chance to heal. The inflammation, the swelling, the imbalance, they aren't permanent. They're signals. They're your body's way of asking for help. And once you start listening, the change can come faster than you think. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to start with one step. But here's the good news. Here's the truth that brings most men relief the moment they hear it. The damage you've done isn't permanent. The prostate is an incredibly adaptive organ. It responds to your daily routine, and that means it can heal through your daily routine too. The same slow habits that caused pressure and inflammation can be undone by simple, steady actions that restore circulation, reduce swelling, and bring your hormones back into balance. It doesn't require medication or radical diets. It just requires awareness, movement, and consistency. The first step is hydration. I tell every patient this: your prostate needs water the way your heart needs blood. Start by drinking a glass of water as soon as you wake up. Not coffee, water. Then sip small amounts throughout the day instead of waiting until you're thirsty. Thirst is already a late warning sign. You want to stay ahead of it. Clear or pale yellow urine means you're doing it right. Hydration cools inflammation, flushes toxins through your kidneys, and gives the prostate a chance to relax. Within a week or two, most men notice less burning, fewer nighttime trips, and an easier, smoother flow. The next step is movement, gentle, regular, and consistent. You don't need hours of exercise or heavy lifting. You just need to remind your body that it's alive. Start with a 5-minute walk every hour. Even standing up and stretching your hips and legs can restart blood flow to the pelvic area. I often recommend what I call micro movement moments. 2 minutes of light walking every half hour, or standing during phone calls, or using the stairs instead of the elevator. These small motions release the constant compression around your prostate and bring oxygen-rich blood back where it's needed. Over time, that means less inflammation and stronger urinary control. Then comes nutrition. Replace processed foods with what I call clean builders: fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and fish. These foods contain antioxidants and omega-3 fats that calm inflammation at the cellular level. Add tomatoes, berries, green tea, and pumpkin seeds to your routine. They're particularly supportive for prostate health. Reducing caffeine and alcohol helps too, because both can irritate the bladder and cause dehydration. You don't need perfection, just progress. Every swap, every better choice adds up to less pressure and more healing. And of course, don't ignore the emotional side. Chronic stress tightens everything: your mind, your muscles, and your pelvic floor. That's why learning to release tension is part of the cure. Try 10 minutes of deep breathing each morning. Inhale through your nose. Exhale slowly through your mouth and let your abdomen rise and fall naturally. Walking outdoors, gentle yoga, or even listening to calming music before bed can reduce cortisol, the hormone that fuels inflammation. As stress levels drop, your body restores its rhythm, and you'll begin to feel it where it matters most. For men who like structure, I recommend using the Senior Health Tracker app. It's a simple digital companion that helps you log your water intake, track bathroom habits, and set reminders to stand up and move. It's built for seniors with large text, simple navigation, and helpful notifications that make consistency easier. Many of my patients use it daily to notice patterns: when they drink more water, when they move less, how stress affects their symptoms. Awareness leads to control, and control leads to healing. When you combine these small steps, steady hydration, gentle motion, nourishing food, calm breathing, and mindful tracking, something powerful begins to happen. Sleep improves. Nighttime bathroom trips decrease. Energy returns. Even mood and confidence lift, because the body finally feels like it's working with you, not against you. The changes don't happen overnight, but within weeks, you'll start noticing subtle improvements: a stronger stream, fewer interruptions, a deeper night's rest. These are the quiet victories that show your prostate is recovering. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. You don't have to do everything right every day. You just need to do something right every day. Small, consistent changes compound into lasting results. Your prostate doesn't expect you to reverse decades of habits overnight. It simply needs a reason to heal. And when you give it one, it will. You've already taken the most important step by understanding the cause. Now it's time to act. One glass of water, one walk, one deep breath at a time. Because healing doesn't come from doing everything at once. It comes from doing the right thing repeatedly. The body rewards consistency with calm, balance, and strength. The nights get quieter, the flow gets stronger, and life starts to feel normal again. This is where the healing begins, and it's simpler than most men ever believe. If you've made it this far, I want you to take a deep breath and know something important. You're not alone in this. Every man who reaches a certain age faces the same quiet battles: the late-night bathroom trips, the restless sleep, the slow changes that seem to appear out of nowhere. You didn't cause this on purpose, and you don't have to face it with fear. What matters is that you now understand what's really happening and how much power you have to change it. The habits that silently enlarge your prostate are not a life sentence. They're simply patterns that your body has learned, and that means they can be unlearned. Sitting too long, ignoring hydration, living under constant stress, they all seem harmless, but over time, they create the perfect storm inside your body. A little pressure here, a little tension there, and before long, your prostate begins to react. It's not trying to punish you. It's trying to protect you. It swells. It signals. It warns. Those nightly interruptions are your body's way of saying something needs to change. And the good news is that it's never too late to listen. You don't need to live at the mercy of these symptoms. You don't have to plan your day around the nearest restroom or dread another sleepless night. Healing begins the moment you start making space for movement, water, and calm in your life. The small decisions, standing up once every half hour, drinking another glass of water, cutting back on caffeine, may seem insignificant in the moment, but they add up. They tell your body, I hear you. They remind your prostate that relief is possible. I've seen men in their 70s and 80s reverse years of discomfort just by paying attention to these simple principles. They didn't use expensive medications or complicated regimens. They used patience. They built small daily routines that favored their body instead of fighting against it. And the difference was extraordinary: the stronger flow, deeper sleep, renewed energy, even greater confidence. It's not magic. It's biology working as it's meant to. So don't wait until the symptoms control your life. Take control before they do. Notice the patterns that feed the problem and replace them with the ones that restore balance. Make movement your medicine. Let water be your therapy. Let rest and awareness become part of your healing. And if you need guidance, use tools that keep you accountable, like the Senior Health Tracker app. It was designed for moments exactly like these to help you monitor your progress, celebrate small wins, and stay consistent. Each reminder to drink, to move, to breathe is a step toward recovery. If this message helped you understand your body better, share it. Because every man deserves to know that prostate problems don't just come with age, they come with habits. And the moment you begin to change those habits, your body will thank you. You might not notice it on day one, but one morning you'll wake up, go through your routine, and realize something's different. The discomfort is lighter. The night felt calmer. The fear has faded. That's your body responding. That's your body healing. So to every senior man listening, don't accept decline as inevitable. You have more control over your prostate health than you've been told. Be gentle with yourself, stay curious about your own body, and make choices that serve your future, not your past. Because in the end, longevity isn't about how long you live. It's about how well you live. Take care of your prostate, and it will take care of you.